Good morning. This is Colleen E. Harrison. I'm an enrolled agent authorized by the federal government to represent taxpayers before the Internal Revenue Service on all administrative tax matters in all 50 states and U.S. territories. I'm also a former IRS revenue agent. I worked for the Internal Revenue Service, retired from the Internal Revenue Service, after 17 years with IRS and the rest of the career in other government agencies. I have over 30 years of accounting and taxation experience. I wanted to introduce myself first and then discuss the installment agreement that IRS provides to repay their tax debts. Now, to start with, in order to enter into an installment agreement to pay back your tax debts, you must have filed all your tax returns. You must also be paying taxes on your current income. Now, if you do not have all your tax returns filed, IRS will have no way of knowing how much you owe. And therefore, they are not going to allow you to enter into an offer in compromise or even an installment agreement. So it's important to realize that the first step in negotiating and resolving your tax issues and your tax debts with the IRS, you need to be sure that you have filed all your tax returns that are required to be filed. And sometimes even those that you may not be required to be filed, it's a good idea to go ahead and file them to let the IRS know that you don't have a requirement to file. I mean, at least this provides substantiation to them. Now, there is a program available under the Fresh Start program. Now, this is a program for people who can actually pay their debt, their tax debt, over a period of time on a monthly basis. In other words, on a streamlined basis. Now, that Fresh Start program avoids liens. It also allows you to enter into an installment agreement without providing detailed collection information statements. You can bring your debt down below $50,000 if you need to in order to qualify for the Fresh Start program. But keep in mind that you must be able to pay the debt off that you owe the IRS within a reasonable period of time, and in some cases the IRS allows 72 months to pay that back. Also, the benefit to you, if you can do so on a monthly basis, equal monthly payments that will pay off your debt within the correct time period, you avoid a lot of problems. Now, there are times when a person does not have the ability to pay in monthly payments over even 72 months. Now, in those cases, you have to prove to the IRS that you are not in a position to pay and that you are basically currently not collectible. Not everyone qualifies for that status. You will have to fill out collection information forms providing your income and expenses, your assets and your liabilities. Also, it's not an automatic done deal when you do this, because IRS is going to review your collection information statement, compare it to what they know about you, and determine, based on a formula that they have, whether or not you are indeed currently not collectible. So it's not up to you to determine whether you're not collectible. The IRS will determine whether or not you are non-collectible. That does not mean that the tax goes away. It just means that there will be no further enforcement collection action until such time as the IRS determines, based on information reported to them, that you indeed do have the ability to pay, either in monthly installments or in selling assets, borrowing against assets, and so forth. You will receive generally a yearly notice advising you that you owe. So when you do get the notice, don't assume that automatically means that you're under collection action again. It's just a reminder. Now, if you owe more than $50,000 and you can't bring the debt down below $50,000, you will have to fill out a collection information statement which reflects all your assets, your liabilities, your income, and expenses. Now, even if the debt that you have is just yours and not joint with your spouse, your household income and expenses will be taken into consideration, and your individual share will be used to determine whether or not you qualify for a certain payment each month over a period of time. IRS has to collect the taxes owed within a time frame of 10 years from the date of assessment. However, certain things will cause that statute to be extended. So some of the options that you have for paying off your debt may result in your statute date being extended beyond the 10-year period. Before you enter into an installment arrangement, be sure that you are in a position to allow IRS all the knowledge that they require about your assets and liabilities, your income and expenses. Sometimes people don't realize that the IRS already has ways of determining what you owe. Some of the things that they can do is check the assets in terms of your home, whether you have a plane, a boat, cars. All these things IRS will find out about whether or not you provide the information. So it's best to be honest. And when you do sign these forms, you're signing them under penalty of perjury, meaning you're testifying that what you have reported is in fact correct as far as your knowledge. Now, how would you not know what you have? I mean, really, let's face it, how would you not know what assets you own? Well, in some cases that may be possible. Right now, I'm going to stop, and I just want you to understand that you do have options when you owe the IRS, regardless of how much money you owe the IRS. You can be placed into currently not collectible status. You can be placed into an installment agreement. You can also put in an offer and compromise. If you need assistance, you can always call me. I'm available to assist you in this regard. I'm an expert in tax resolution, and I also recommend that you go to the irs.gov website and review the information that they provide, as well as their directory of credentials for all tax professionals that you may want to look at, you may want to evaluate. All this information is available to you so that you select the person or the company that is most favorable to you and where you can best invest your money. I'm going to close now, and I have to put my glasses on because I'm nearsighted and I need to be able to see the button to click on. Thank you so much for listening.